So year 2 volume 12 is finally over and I finally finished reading it, and now I'm here to give my thoughts and opinions on what is going to happen in the next volume, as well as my take on this entire volume itself. So the end of the year exam, to be honest, it kind of felt like a Jubilee video. If you do not know what is a Jubilee video, I'll give you a brief takedown on this. It is one where you have a bunch of random people and communicate to determine who is the target that needs to get exposed. When the specific person survives, he can win the game and gain rewards. In case of the Jubilee video, it is cash. In the novel, it is very similar, but it has its own very perks. Like, there is like characters who have specific roles, like for example there's a teacher and an ordinary student, there's an honor student, blah blah blah. There are also the ones who nominate the characters, which are actually the viewers in this case, but in the specific novel, it is actually the representatives who are chosen. There are 3 representatives in each class. So depending on the role they nominate, they either lose lives, take lives, or gain new lives. So the game itself is very complicated for newer audiences, but I will skip more about the entire game itself and make another video revolving around it if you want to. So just let me know in the comments. The current relationship between Ayanokoji and Kei is actually on a thread that could be easily cut. It was actually portrayed that she is now having second thoughts on what their current relationship is and may be severed at any notice, which is, yeah, this is a very troubling scenario for Kei and Ayanokoji's relationship, especially for those who actually support their ship. But I do believe that we are nearing the end in terms of their specific relationship, but she's still holding on to it as long as she can, which is very tough for her. Do I believe that she can move on from this? I do believe so, because one thing I believe is that even though the relationship might be over, I don't think that this is going to be the end for Ayanokoji's love study, since he wants to know what it means to truly feel the feeling of love, right? And he also wants to know the results of this so-called breakup, because there is 2 fates that could happen to Kei. Either she moves on entirely from Ayanokoji and like treats this as just a simple past, or maybe perhaps she can't move on in the future and actually goes for Ayanokoji and like continues to be loyal to him for some reason. We won't know until we read year 3, so we are looking forward to that. It's also fascinating because Ayanokoji is not simply going to break up with Kei, but is slowly showing signs for her to adapt to it, right? Which is, yeah, Ayanokoji in the most part will say cruel things that I treat them as tools, or maybe perhaps I don't want to waste my time on this worthless thing, like what he said with Haruka in this particular volume. But there are some subtleties in with his like decisions. Sometimes it's not very apparent, but it seems like he does not want to vocalize it, but he is actually genuinely trying to do his best to not really destroy them. If he does destroy them, it has to lead into a salvation at one point, right? Except for maybe the ones who really despise them, like for example Takuya Yagami, as well as Yamagad. Excuse me for that. So where was I again? Okay, so Haruka was wanting to reconcile with Ayanokoji. It seems like a setup for the future, right? Right now, Ayanokoji does not really want to have anything regarding them, but with Ayanokoji's plan, which is to actually just sit back and relax for at the very least the last 6 months of the school year, since he simply wants to observe over the other classes. I do think that if he manages to do so, he will go back to his like slice of life, school life. At first we thought that Ayanokoji wants to destroy every single class by going to another class in the lowest class and then destroying Horikita, but it seems like what he truly wants was to equalize each and every class. But we won't know in the future because it is getting disrupted now due to Sakayanagi's interference. But still, so we know that at the start of year 3, Ayanokoji will probably be the most hated student from his classmates, or probably his former class in the future. But I do believe at the very end of the series he will develop proper feelings and will be able to talk it out with his old friends, such as the Ayanokoji group, as well as the other friends that he has, right? So Ichika also thanks Ayanokoji. This is what was missing for her, since she has already lost her purpose, right? Because Takuya is gone, the mission to expel Ayanokoji is gone, so right now she's kind of lost, and she thought that she didn't have any more meaning in staying there. But because Ayanokoji gave her a role, she at least has something to do in school, which is something that Ichika kind of appreciates, right? Which is nice. Excuse me. So Nanase is probably going to be a very important character in year 3. I do think that she has the very potential to be one of the 2 paths that I think either become the strongest enemy, one of the strongest enemies, or actually become one of the few people who will give newfound feelings to Ayanokoji. I'll expand it on another video because I already have a theory about that. So let me know in the comment section if you want to truly find out about what is Nanase's goal in life. So I actually find Nishino squirming really funny and cute. It was very random, man, that she was right there. I thought it was going to be an epic reveal or an epic surprise from her that she's actually a very strong student, but the author says nope, she's just there because yeah, they don't have anyone else in class. Very random, very funny, but at the same time very fun. So one character right here that stood out is Hoshinomiya Chie, which is the teacher for Ichinonouse's class. She is very crazy, like, I mean, really crazy. If she were another race, in terms of like elves, dwarves, she would likely be a succubus. Damn, and she's very thirsty. But too bad for her that her opponent is actually Ayanokoji, who is void of emotions. Will she get a redemption? I don't know, probably. But it's not gonna be the focus of the novel, at least for now. It all depends on the author though. So there is one thing that I'm glad that happened in this volume, and it is actually Hiyori saving the day for Ryuen. Hiyori, we all know Hiyori is already a smart girl as well as a very sharp girl in terms of looking at relationships, knowing at the character as well. And in this case, she also showed a ability where she can pacify an intense atmosphere. So the entire room was getting very intense because Tokito was getting more pressured, and at the time he doesn't really mind if Ryuen loses a point or does something really awful like punching the other student. I forgot the name of the class A student, but yes, as he was about to punch the student, Hiyori actually, for some reason, she was already there and managed to stop Tokito. which was, yeah, shocking at first. But then again, maybe she predicted that Tokito was about to punch him and actually stood up first before Tokito arrived there. But it is actually kind of suspicious. Imagine if Yuri is actually very strong, right? That's gonna be surprising. But yeah, Tokito is a simp to any other girl, but I don't really find fault with him because, yeah, the best girl is right behind him, right there. Yeah, Yuri best girl. So more or less in the exam though, with regards to representatives, we had Hirata there, mentally destroyed. Not really mentally destroyed, but he knows his place, that he doesn't have the ability to like know the true self or doubt other people's. Kanzeki's hope was shattered due to Ayanokoji's presence. We all know he even was scrambling his mind to ask Korigita to give up, which is crazy. Hito wanted to fight Ryuen as well, but got humbled by Katsuragi, and in the very end he just smiled wryly because he can't do anything about it. Katsuragi wanted revenge as well with Sakayanagi, but in the end he was given a reality check, right? He only managed to get 1 point from Sakayanagi, but yeah, can't do anything about it. He got destroyed. Ryuen, he got outclassed and is actually down in the dumps. He is actually doubting himself if he actually has the ability to contend with Ayanokoji right now, which also sucks because he was actually gaining momentum, but this is what it is. I also predicted that in my last video, but yeah, it is what it is. Horikita felt the pressure regarding Ichinose, not only the pressure from Ichinose, she is also doubting herself as a leader and kinda let down herself because she believed that she at least needed to like help Ayanokoji. I feel like the more we get to see Horikita, the more we get to see her wanting to be praised by Ayanokoji, right? So it seems like it's slowly becoming an obsession right now. Ichinose is shook from the revelation. Whether or not it breaks her or makes her, it will only be revealed in the next volume, so we will only know until the next volume, which is around this year, because I think the author announced that it is going to be released this year. So I think around October, November, or December, at least this year. And the last but not the least, Sakayanagi felt regret and got her heart broken. We do not know yet if she will go through with the bet. Will she actually leave finally? We all know that she won't go back with her words, right? But yeah, there is still Ayanokoji there. We don't know if there is going to be another interference happening or other stuff, but let's just see in the future. So we didn't get the overall from what I wanted to happen in this volume. Actually, I will tell you about it. We didn't get much reactions from other students yet regarding the results and Ayanokoji's movements, right? I would definitely like the reactions from his classmates, like for example Sudo in the gang, the Ayanokoji group if they can, the other students from other classes, because so far Ayanokoji has actually built a ton of reputation. This exam alone lets us know who amongst the leaders truly understood Ayanokoji more as well. From most to least, I will tell you Arisu, because she knows what Ayanokoji feels, as well as what Ayanokoji thinks. Like for example, if any other leader were to think about the result or the message that Ayanokoji gave to Hashimoto, they won't really understand, and Arisu was the only one who could understand that. Ryuen, we have Ryuen can understand Ayanokoji more than Ichinose and Horikita, because Ryuen is someone who tries to delve into a person's feeling more rather than their excuse me, rather than their simple outlooks. Ichinose, yeah, and Ichinose is the next one. She was very formidable here, but it's only regarding the other students. She does not really understand Ayanokoji more compared to the first two, and it shows here, right? At the moment Ayanokoji showed his true colors, she was shook. And Horikita, yeah, in this entire volume, it seems like Horikita still doubts Ayanokoji's abilities. And like, for example, she thought that Shinosuke would still win against Ayanokoji. But yeah, it is what it is. It is not her fault, since Ayanokoji himself is simply showing Horikita what he wants Horikita to perceive him, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. But I do feel like amongst these four people in the future, Horikita will probably be the one who will understand him the most. So yeah, the expulsions for this exam hasn't been confirmed yet, but I do believe that Maizono as well as Sakayanagi Arisu are more or less guaranteed to be expelled. There's a chance that Arisu might be saved due to Ayanokoji's interference, but I wouldn't put my hopes on it, because we all know classroom delete is sometimes the crazy, it will show crazy results in the very end. But Arisu has her own pride as well, so just don't put any hopes about that regarding her expulsion, so that when she gets saved, then you'll be more happier. If she gets expelled, you will be less disappointed. So that's gonna be it. For some odd reason though, I feel like Ryuen and Sakayanagi are gonna end up with each other in the future. I don't know why, but their conversations and attitude with one another, especially in this particular volume, resemble particular characters like rivals at first, but ended up being lovers. I don't know why, but this happens from time to time in other anime series as well. Even serious anime series, this happens. So it is what it is. If there is a class that Ayanokoji will end up transferring to, I do believe that it will be Ichinose's class. Some of you might think that it would be Arisu's class, but no, I don't think it would be Arisu's class, because the class points regarding the three classes would still be attainable. Horikita's class could still be caught up to. Ryuen's class and Sakayanagi's class would be able to catch up to them and are actually not that far in terms of class points. But regarding Ichinose's class, they have the lowest points even right now, and especially since they lost, they will even more so lose more points. And now, since Ichinose's class is the lowest one, they will need someone to revive them, and we all know that Ayanokoji's plan is for all classes to have an equal chance to fight, right? So I do believe that Ayanokoji will only transfer to the lowest class if ever he has a chance. But will it happen? I don't know. We don't know how many class points Ayanokoji does have right now. I don't even know if Ichinose is going to break or make in the next volume. So whether or not he makes it or breaks it, we will see in the next volume. So next volume expectations, I have a few ones. Talking to certain characters like Nagumo, Kiriyama, Ryuen, and any other character that we might see in the future. I hope we can have at least a little bit of communication with the best girl though, which is Yuri. So yeah, like what happened in the first year, 11.5, right? Yeah. So shock reactions at Ayanokoji will happen from the classmates and other students for destroying Ichinose, because we all know Ichinose is the most formidable student in year 2 volume 12, right? So yeah, she's very strong at this particular exam, but Ayanokoji just destroyed her, which is crazy. Ayanokoji's real abilities will probably be showcased or will slowly get revealed to other students now, and probably rumors will start to spread, and we are gonna experience this more on year 3, right? And the strong students amongst the remaining ones will probably confirm it as well. Expulsion's reactions to either Sakayanagi and Maizono. Maizono will probably have friends, especially the ones who were talking with her during the 9.5 volume or year to 9.5 volume. They will finally realize that Ayanokoji is the real thing, and what Maizono had said will affect their opinion of Ayanokoji and might actually fear him right now. The final moments with Sakayanagi, maybe we won't know until she gets expelled. I do think that there's gonna be communication with her and Yamamura, right? Since it seems like she was starting to open up to other people as well, or trying to at least understand them, which is sad because the moment she finally tried to change, she is going to be expelled. Or not expelled, she is going to voluntarily leave. So, surprise class transfer by Ayanokoji. I don't think this happens though, since he doesn't have enough points to transfer. Maybe Arisu Sakayanagi will give him the funds. Maybe Ichinose has enough funds to share with Ayanokoji to transfer. We won't know until he decides to do so in the next volume. Next up would be meeting Ayanokoji's father. I do think that this is going to be a very important one because it seems like there might be possible interactions. Maybe for some reason Ayanokoji's father will meet Koenji's father, and Koenji's father is actually a very important person in regards to another company. Like maybe there's a black room out there for some reason, and Koenji is probably the student of the black room or the product of the black room. Remember in a volume that I don't remember which specific volume, but I do remember that Ayanokoji's father was said to visit only at the last day to avoid meeting some person. Maybe the one he mentioned there was Koenji's father, maybe. But yeah, it is what it is. Now, the last thing that I would like to note here was probably Horikita. Horikita right now is in a state of defeat, so she feels lost. At the same time, I do think that she will be able to recover herself, but there is one thing that I am thinking about this scenario right now. The moment Ayanokoji transfers to another class, she is gonna go crazy, at the very least for the first few volumes of year 3, because Ayanokoji is a very strong opponent, and she knows deep down that Ayanokoji is probably the strongest student among her batchmates. Even though she doubts him, I do believe that she will understand it, especially if they've actually fought in a serious note in one exam. So that's gonna be what I want to see in the next volume. Yeah, there is another communication with Matsushita at the very end of or at the very early parts of the volume. Unless Ayanokoji does not transfer in another class, then she will likely become a huge asset regarding what that test was. but I do believe she already passed with flying colors at the release for me. We only need Ayanokoji's confirmation in the next volume, so I do believe we will probably see him. We will probably see her in the next one. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys have watched the entire thing, and I hope my insight is actually very alluring to you guys. So let me know in the comments if I missed out anything. I will be talking about other stuff in the future regarding, like, for example, the entire exam. I have a full grasp on what is it about, as well as the part with Nanase. I will talk to you about it as well. I will talk about the possible outcome for Karuizawake, as well as the Ayanokoji, as well as the theory about Urikita being the end girl. So those are everything for this particular volume. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do smash that like button and subscribe if you've enjoyed. So that's gonna be it. See you soon. Peace out. God bless.